Hi, friends. I am back finally again. I hope everyone's been doing well. I feel like I always start the video off saying this, but seriously, the energy is so intense right now. Especially this month is like the most intense month of the entire year, and I am feeling it very, very, very deeply. I feel a lot of this energy coming in, and things are changing, but it hasn't been entirely very clear how things are changing. So it's a little bit hard to kind of put your finger on it, but we're really coming into like this energy that we haven't ever been in ever. And so it's going to take a lot of time to actually get used to it. Also, it's like really sunny. So hopefully it doesn't look super crazy. But I did want to talk about today was just what I've been thinking a lot about is coherence. Like that word keeps coming up a lot. Um, Choosing coherence over chaos, and I think that that's kind of the time that we're shifting into right now, and I'm curious if anybody else is feeling that, but I feel that after a long time, sorry, hold on. um After a really long time of spending a lot of time in this like limbo transitional time period where we were purging a lot, moving through a lot of energy, coming to awareness, coming to consciousness of things in the world and also things inside of ourselves, expanding our consciousness, and um, really learning about how we can do this human thing in a different way that is more in alignment with our human nature. We've been in that kind of limbo for many, many, many years. And for the first time right now, in this transition slash on the edge of really embodying this new energy coming in with the shift into all the Aries energy and the year of the horse and like 1 year and all that kind of fun stuff. There's a lot of us stepping into an era that we've never been in ever, and I've also been feeling a lot of the weight of the things that are happening in the world right now. um, and so I've kind of had to kind of take a step back and things like that because there's just a lot going on and it feels very intense. But I think it's proof that we're really, these things are coming up in such an intense way because we've reached a point where we're being fully, what's the word, confronted with a lot of the illusion that we weren't able to fully grasp before. And so it's kind of like the final confrontation before we really start to say, like, okay, we got to do this human thing differently and we got to move forward in a different way. And that's really where we are right now. And if you've been kind of doing that transitional vibe for a really long time and you've kind of been, questioning things and deconstructing your reality and the ways that you were taught to relate to it, then you're feeling this new energy coming in. And along with that new energy, I feel, and I'm curious if other people feel this feeling and experience of coherence coming in. And what I mean by coherence is really just, I'm starting to feel almost like a 0 point within my body. Like I'm starting to feel a lot more grounded and integrated. So before I felt a lot of just like, you know, in this very active phase of the journey towards whatever you want to call self discovery, self actualization, spiritual awakening, whatever terminology you want to use. But I felt a very, active energy of things being super intense experiences and intense insights and realizations. And suddenly things have really become physical. Like I've kind of feeling myself embodying. I think that's a really good word, like in this embodiment stage where I'm feeling things in the physical, and I can feel that my nervous system has settled down, and it has settled down in a new framework. It's settled down in a new energy, and it's like this massive integration phase essentially is what I'm trying to say. Is that after the many, many years of what we've been putting work towards, we're finally feeling an integration happening on the physical level. And so our physical bodies are starting to kind of relax more into this new paradigm and into this new world. And so maybe you were somebody who, you were born into the structure of this world and you were never really able to, you were kind of like a misfit, you were never really able to fit into it, you questioned a lot, it didn't make sense, and there was this constant friction that you felt. Maybe you felt it as an anxious energy or just like a dissociated energy, or maybe even like a grief or loss type of energy. But there was constantly this friction between what you knew to be true about yourself and how the world works and how the world was actually working, right? Like there was this very intense cognitive dissonance. And I think that now we are entering a time where this new framework of doing life is integrating itself. And so that friction is starting to melt away. At least I feel that that friction between, like, oh my God, we're living in an insane world and none of this makes sense and everything is backwards, it's starting to fall away a little bit. And the reason why is because we're actually integrating that new energy, and because that we've integrated that, we've embodied it pretty well. I think, who really knows? I guess the real test is when you get out there and do stuff. But as you've integrated that energy, we are now kind of in this world where it can actually receive the ideas and the truth and the awareness that we've had all along. Except this awareness is actually backed by experience now, right? Like, we've experienced challenges, and through living in the contrast and living in the chaos, we have developed coherence. We've learned to stay regulated and grounded amidst the chaos. We understand how shadow works, and we also understand how consciousness works. And we understand how to use the shadow to fuel the expansion of consciousness. And therefore, we're very great at remaining coherent. And I can feel that starting to happen. And coherence, I really think, is the way of this new model of moving forward, is how can you stay contained within yourself, but still open, right? How can you stay grounded within your nervous system, but still sensitive and aware and picking up the information in the environment around you? And so I really feel that we're kind of entering this time of the things that we have known to be true and believed, and the things that we've been shouting from the rooftop for many years now. It's starting to form the new way forward. And in order to lead the new way forward, you have to really embody that coherence. And we're really starting to see that happen. I just feel a relaxation of the nervous system kind of happening, especially. And I think a lot of people that are kind of on a similar path might feel that happening as well, that we're kind of starting to enter this phase of being able to go out into the world and build and connect and create communities and create and etc. from this new framework. And I feel like I've rehashed this topic a lot on my channel. Like, I'm not saying anything that I feel like I haven't said yet. So this might be really repetitive, but I don't even know. I felt like I wanted to make a video on it, especially just because the energy is really intense right now. And it's we're in a really unknown period as we continue to integrate this energy and figure out how to physically move forward with it. And so I still don't really know exactly how that looks like, but I feel it happening inside of myself first. And I imagine that the right path and opportunities will open themselves up and guide us into how we can create this new world. But it just, another thing hand in hand with coherence that I've been thinking about is leadership, because the new leadership, the empathic leader, the connected leader is operating through coherence, not nervous system dysregulation, right? It's like all the dysregulated people are in powers of leadership right now, but what shift we're going to see is that there's going to be coherent people in positions of power now. We're going to start finding that people that remain in coherence are rewarded. So in the past, and in the structure of this world that we had before, if you were a coherent person, you weren't necessarily rewarded for that, right? Like, the world was built so that if you fed into your own chaos and if you fed your own sort of ego, you would succeed in the way that success is described in, this old, paradigm that we've created. We're going to start to find that that completely switches. And you're going to find that actually now in this world, authenticity is rewarded. Remaining coherent, calm, and connected to self is going to be rewarded. Discernment is going to be rewarded. Having boundaries that are, very well demarcated, but still you're conscious of them and you're able to bring them up and down as needed, that's going to be rewarded. Um, Sovereignty is going to be rewarded over codependency. So we're going to start noticing a lot of these shifts, and they're going to happen really subtly. I haven't been actually seeing anything happen or change in my physical life just yet, but I can feel that this energy has gotten to a place where it's in the physical reality now, right? It's really descended into that physical reality, and it's just a matter of time when we start to see it manifest itself physically. But yeah, I honestly feel like I didn't really have anything that important to say in this video. I just felt like I needed to say that, so maybe somebody needed to hear that, or maybe somebody resonates with that and it makes them feel a little bit less crazy. But yeah, if you're feeling it, I'm feeling it too. And if you are trying to hold on to anything about how to move forward, I would say that it would be choose coherence over chaos. um, and let that be your way of moving forward, because that's the only way that I feel I can move forward right now. I don't really feel super inspired. You can probably tell by the way that I'm like speaking and stuff. I just don't really feel very inspired to create things or to be motivated by the same things anymore. But I do feel like my energy itself is shifting a lot, and in a positive way. And I feel like just this like breath of fresh air coming in a way that I haven't felt in many, many, many years, if at all, in like a really, really long time, or at least in my adulthood, I haven't felt this kind of energy at all. So it's really exciting. Um, and I think the way forward is really going to be to just remain within your physical body, and continue trying to find ways to regulate your nervous system and continue to choose your own peace and your own coherence over the chaos of what's going on, not only in the world, but all of that is a reflection of what's going on inside of ourselves. So continue to choose coherence, continue to choose staying in alignment with your presence, because that's another thing is I think that coherence is true magnetism, right? Like if you really want to step into your most magnetic frequency of who you want to be, you have to be coherent. You have to continue to ruthlessly stay connected to your intuition and what you know to be true, regardless of what's going on outside, regardless of all the noise and the background crap going on in your life. You have to stay connected to that. You have to have strong boundaries. You have to know what you want and focus on it so much that it has no option but to become a part of your reality. And it all begins with coherence, or coherence, I guess, is just another word for alignment. But I don't know, for some reason that word is like really loud in my mind. So that's all I really had to say. I feel like, this is nothing new. And I don't know, I haven't been feeling super inspired lately. So I feel like that's coming across. But I still felt like I wanted to, you know, use my lack of inspiration and turn it into something and hopefully help connect with people. And I feel like the only thing that I know that I should be doing in this time is trying to connect with other people going through that transition and transformation as well. So, yeah, comment how you've been feeling through this transformation and this transition, because it's really crazy. I am so excited for us to see where the world takes us and how we, rebuild society in a much bigger way. But I feel like we're kind of at that end point of the hero's journey where it's like the hero is, integrated the lessons of the trials and tribulations that he or she has gone through, and now they're returning back to the kingdom, or the village or whatever, and they are here to present this medicine and to rebuild this village or kingdom of chaos into something that is built off of true real medicine. And it's going to be hard because we don't have any, like, it's never been done before, right? So it's like you have to figure out your own framework. You have to figure out how to connect to your own creative form. And the biggest thing is you have to just trust that that's going to work, right? Because we've only ever had this old structure that we've been working with. We've never been in a time like right now where it's been this acceptable to be so ruthlessly connected to authenticity, community, etc. Like those themes and topics that I always talk about have never been this, I think, widely recognized or accepted. And we've never been in a time where we have known that we needed it so badly as we do right now. So I already lost my train of thought. I have no idea where I was going with that. But yeah, just I'm curious what you guys have all been feeling, how you've been feeling this energy. We're 1 week into February, which is crazy, and we still have a lot of very intense transits coming in along this week and the week after, and basically for until February ends. So hopefully things will shift and continue to get better and better. But I feel pretty hopeful actually, despite what's going on in the world, what's really dark and scary, which by the way, please take the time to take care of yourself through all of that. But I don't feel helpless. I actually feel like there's opportunity for massive growth that we can go through right now and work with this really powerful energy. So yay to the trailblazers, yay to the people that are visionaries, yay to the healers, yay to the mystics and the weirdos of the world, because we are in the age of Aquarius. So it's just a matter of time until people start to wake up even more, and the reality that we kind of knew to be true but rejected within ourselves becomes the new normal. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I shall see you sometime soon. Again, sorry for the lack of inspiration, but I'm doing my best here. But I'll see you soon. Bye.